Hey everyone, Real Fan Man here. Happy New Year. So I'm going to do some work on the layout, and I'm going to put in some of these switch machines from Walthers that I purchased last year, beginning of last year. I had three of them hooked up on my, I think it was, I want to say it was layout version 4.0, which was the first layout I had put together when my girlfriend and I moved into that house we were renting. So, but I know I had two of them hooked up on a crossover, and they worked. They worked very well. However, that was with my NCE system. Now I have the ESU Power Cab wireless throttle, so it's a whole new ball game. And we're gonna check it out. So I'm just gonna kind of record the progress and share with you guys once I get it all hopefully set in place. So stand by. All right. So here's the crossover I'm going to be working on. As you can see, I have my yoke set for this one. So I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm going to work on this one right here. And then I have, so this is the crossover from the yard, which technically, arrival departure slash extra storage track. I'll get into that on another video. But anyways, I'm going to start on this crossover with this switch here. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, and I'll show you where the fourth one's going to go, which is going to be right there. So that's the other end of the reverse loop. I'm going to put one there. And this switch right here, that is the west side arrival departure lead and the main line. So you got the arrival departure lead and the main line. I have another tortoise switching machine I'm going to put right in this for this switch right here. So, all right, wish me luck. Yeah, I just wanted to, before I actually get started on working this, I just wanted to give a quick overview or a little more detailed overview. So this crossover right here is for trains basically leaving the yard onto the main, which is this track right here, and then or coming into the yard, east side. And if they come out, now this switch right here is for the east side entrance to the reverse loop, which I will just follow it all the way around. Comes around, kind of follows the main a little bit, passes Beaver Lumber. And I'll talk about that change afterwards in my next update. And then I have Water Street Freight Terminal, and then in the background I got Heritage Furniture. And then here's a Pico switch for Beaver Lumber. And then I got the trestle. And the city scene, which is still in progress. We're not talking about that yet. And then it comes to that switch right there, which is the west side reverse loop switch. So those will be the switches I'm working on today. Well, folks, this is the second time I've done this since I've been putting in these switch machines, and I was trying very careful not to do that. However, the switch is totaled. I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to take it out. I should have just taken it. I had to thought about taking them out because this part isn't ballasted, as you can see. So, luckily I have another switch for this spot. But I am going to take these switches out and just do it properly. I'm just going to do it properly, and this is what not to do. Okay? But hey, look, I got my hole drilled. So, anyways, stand by and wish me luck. All right, I'm back. So yeah, I'm living on the edge here, doing some hardcore drilling in the top of the table here. I already have these two center holes marked underneath, so as you can see, lifted up the track, took some track nails out, so on and so forth, and unfortunately, I could replace that switch. Fortunately, I have one though. So, anyways, stay tuned. Success. No other switching tracks were harmed in the making of this video. So that first hole I drilled this drill bit right here. I had it on my Ryobi, and that has a lot of power. So I decided, you know what? Let's switch it to my little Hyper Tough charged 20 volt max, which it has power, but it's definitely a lot more controlled. So, anyways, those are drilled. Stay tuned. And just like that, all better. Okay, stay tuned for more. All right, so I got my first one in. Took me a little longer than expected, however, that's okay. It works. So get the root set, then actually, yeah, that's the root, and then that's the normal. When I hooked it up, I had the that centerpiece clip that they give you to center the track. For some reason, like once I got it hooked up underneath the table and hooked the wires up, I put the centerpiece on to center it out, and then I pull it off to see if it would move. It didn't do anything. So the last system I had it hooked up to was my power cab here, and as you can see, I hit the macro button and I hit 0, enter. It gives me my route. So it's going to be interesting with the ESU power cab. So stay tuned. So as you can see, I have, like I said, I got the first one hooked up. I just kind of have the wires loosely hooked up right here. So it's this is definitely temporary. I would not try this at home. So this is just to make sure that it works and all that. This is the power board. Still got a little bit to learn about the Walthers switch machines. I mean, I know the basics of hooking them up, however, and I could chain them. Like I said, that crossover, I'm going to chain these two together, and then I'm going to have one on a separate, because this goes up number 1 through 8. So the chain or the crossover will be on number 1, and then that third one I'm going to put in is going to be on number 2. So stand by and stay tuned. Alright, just a quick little update on my progress here. So I got these two in. Those two switch machines are in. I did have a little issue with the direction on this one, and I was trying to mess around with my macros on my NCE controller, but that's like a whole another ballpark, learning the macros and accessories. So I ended up, they didn't end up going the same direction facing underneath, and I'll show you what I mean. As you can see, I have basically the writing on one side, and I was trying to get this second one with the writing on the outside, or facing the same as the first one. However, I don't know if I was not understanding the directions on the NCE booklet about macros, and tried all different combinations, but like if I hit one macro, it just would switch opposite directions. So I took care of that, and I just turned it around. This is the third one I'm putting in right here. I'm just getting ready to tighten it up, and yeah, I'll have those 3 hooked up, and I'll come back with some more. Take care. Stay tuned. Real Fan Man signing out. Hey everyone, Real Fan Man here. Excuse me. Just a continuation of my installation of the 4 Walthers vertical switch machines. I have all 4 of them hooked up. All together, it took me probably a good 2 days, just with lifting the track up and drilling holes. And in one part of the video, you'll see the damage I did to this switch right here. Well, not that exact switch. That's the replacement switch, but luckily I had another one. I have quite a few switches. Can't be burning through them like that though. So I ended up doing it the smart way, and I lifted up the track, and then I drilled my holes, my my access holes for the switch machine throw arm. Anyways, this would be switch 1, switch 2, so that's a crossover. I couldn't connect them together like I could with my NCE system, which, by the way, I'm using the, I got it all hooked up to the ESU power cab. I'll show you that in a second. The only reason is like I have the wiring to do it, and it's very easy, quick connections. However, switch 1 right here would switch fine, but switch 2 would kind of like stutter. It would stutter, and it sounded like the motor was like you know, just overworking itself. It was just consistent like zzz, you know, like a buzzing noise. So rather than look into that, and the fact of the matter is, you know, I only have 4 of them on the layout right now, so I wasn't like too concerned about filling up the board, you know, because there's 8 different spots on the board. I've used 4 of them thus far, and so that's not really a big issue for me. So I just did them on individual sections on the board, 1 through 4. So without further ado, this would be switch number 1. And what's really neat about the ESU is that it shows you what direction you threw the switch. So I basically have it, you know, switching on to from the arrival departure track to the main, and then, you know, I just hit the switch number 2, which throws that switch. So instead of just being able to hit one and they both turn, they just got to, you know, basically just hit them both at the same time, and, you know, they switch to their correct position. And then over here we have switch number 3, which is, I need to relabel it, but that would be this one right there, if I can focus it in. So that throws it the diverging route there, so it goes on to the reverse loop, and then that just brings it back to the main line. And of course, this would be the west end reverse loop switch, which is on my controller is labeled switch 4 or S4. And that actually helps me once I get the scenic and all that, you know, and have some buildings. I won't have to reach over the buildings to hand throw it or put a ground throw there. So, and this is my next switch I'll be working on, which is the last of the 2 tortoise switches I have. I'm going to use that for this switch, which I spoke about in my last layout update. All right, stand by and I'll show you the underneath. Okay, so there's the first vertical switch machine from Walthers. That's switch number 1. And there is switch number 2, switch number 3 for the reverse loop. That's part of the crossover. And here is the control board, and each of these go to their appropriate switches. This is the only area I really need to just button up. And on switch number 4, I actually had to use 2 extension cables, because I believe you can use up to 4 for each switch if you need to extend it. So Really is very easy to hook up, generally speaking, including the switch machines themselves. I mean, the directions are pretty clear and cut, so anyone can hook one of these up. The only thing I didn't have for this system right here is the fascia switches, because I figured since I was going to use DCC to control them, I wasn't going to bother getting the fascia switches. So yeah, basically just those 4 switch machines hooked up to this board, and they are actually powered by the DCC system, or which they're connected to my bus wire. Yeah, I know it's probably a little barbaric. I kind of just split the bus wire and wrapped those smaller wires, which is 22 gauge, to my 14 gauge bus wire, and then wrapped it with electrical tape. However, I'm not, I'm not wiring a house here, and if anybody has anything to say about that, well, it's my layout, so this is how I do it, at least for now. I know I have suitcase connectors, however, I'm not really too big on those at this moment in time. So I do need to straighten this out a little bit. Again, really easy system to hook up. They work very well, and the only like I said, the only issue I really had with these was hooking up or setting up the DCC on the ESU to control these. I mean, it wasn't a serious issue. It was just getting acclimated to it, I guess. So, and originally I wanted to have switch number 2 and switch number 1 connected, and I know I can do that on my NCE system. However, with the ESU power cab, I don't know if it's just too much power for it to have 2 of them connected, or if there's something I'm missing on the ESU power cab that I need to program correctly. But anyways, like I said, I only have 4 of these right now, and I doubt I'm gonna surpass 8, so I'm not really worried about it right now. It's something I could probably look into the near future. The only thing I have too, another issue, I can't say it's an issue, but a signal system. Like on the Tortoise switch machine, I could hook up a wire or a couple wires to the Azatrac circuit board and so on and so forth, and then they kind of like all work together. I throw the switch, the signal changes, so on and so forth. I'm just my next venture, I think, is to see how I can do that with these switch machines. See if there's anything, because I know they got a bunch of other tabs for logic and all that, so I just need to look into it a little bit more, do some homework on that. And this be the 4th one, which would be the west side reverse loop. And then there's a frog juicer for one of the switches I have up there. Actually, I think it is this switch for the reverse loop. So, I don't have any complaints with Walthers switch machines as of right now. I think they all work very well. The ESU power cab here I have, or the wireless cab, is it's gonna simplify things, I think. So, anyways, I hope everybody enjoys this video and my blooper, my mistake that should have never happened if I was thinking ahead of time. But I figured, I'll be all right. I'll get it. I won't break the track. Well, I broke it. So, anyways, I really suggest you drill your holes first. Lift up your track if your track's already laid down. Drill your holes, lay your track back down. After, of course, you get your center pin hole lined up accordingly. you save yourself a little bit of a heartache. I mean, it wasn't terrible because I had an extra one, but still, nonetheless, could have been avoided. So, with that being said, this was kind of supposed to be a how I do it, and it kind of is, but at the same time, it's just more or less like another update on the track work. So, everybody take care, stay safe. Questions, comments, constructive criticism, always welcome. Um, hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. And yeah, everybody take care. Happy modeling. Real Fan Man signing out.